What is going on, everyone, and welcome to r/EntitledParents. Now, in today's first post, an entitled woman can't help but click in the face of workers. Such an annoying habit, but you know, it's pretty typical for entitled people. But the way that OP deals with this is pretty incredible. Let's see what they do. But before we jump into that though, please make sure you are subscribed to my channel if you aren't already. We're getting loads of subscribers each and every day, and you know, it's amazing welcoming you all on board. And yeah, you'll love the content, stick around, and if you don't like it, you can always leave. You can always unsubscribe. It's completely free, of course. So yeah, hit that button. It will make me feel amazing about myself and give me a purpose to live. Let's go. Entitled woman snaps her fingers in my face at work. I worked at a famous Canadian toy store. I was stocking up shelves when a hand goes in my face and snaps. I jump, very much surprised. "Excuse me," and then she snaps again in my face. So I say, very enthusiastically and smiling, snapping my fingers after every word spoken slowly, "Yes, what can I do for you?" The woman was very shocked and starts laughing in an embarrassed manner. "I am looking for a toy." At this point, I am still snapping my fingers after speaking slowly. Same energy and smile. "Of course, please follow me." I turn to lead the way. Meanwhile, she still nervously giggles following me. We get to the toy she wanted. Now calmly, no smiles, but still snapping my fingers and speaking slowly, "Is this what you were looking for?" She says yes and thank you. I nodded and went back to what I was doing. I think she caught on that her actions were not appreciated. My manager came to me laughing her head off as quietly as possible, saying that made her day, and now she knows what to do if it happens to her. Yeah, that's just clearly a great way to deal with someone like that. I mean, it's not offensive, it's not that rude, it's just, you know, letting them know that maybe they weren't aware that clicking is an extremely rude thing to do to someone who works at a store. And by doing that to them, it kind of gives them a bit of their own medicine, if that makes sense, as in they know how annoying clicking is in someone's face, and you're just showing them that. I think there's nothing wrong with that. And yeah, I would do the same now if I'm in that situation and someone clicks in my face. OP, well done for, you know, showing us a light and showing us what to do in that situation. I rate you. Now moving on to our next post. My lunch lady kept me from getting the correct meal after taking insulin. I am a 16-year-old guy. I'm pretty normal, I play video games, hang out with my friends, have a good job, all of that. But the only abnormal thing about me is that I have type 1 diabetes. I've been diagnosed for about a bit more than a year and a half. I've kept good control over it, and the doctors are always impressed when I have a checkup. Bragging aside, I'm a junior in a pretty small high school in the middle of Kansas. One of the things I do is take insulin 10 to 15 minutes before I eat, so it has time to get into effect. With the school lunch, there are two options, a chicken salad or a cheeseburger. I decided to go with a cheeseburger. I take my insulin and go up to the line. There are two separate tables, each with two white to-go boxes with the food in them. I grab a box from the left table, and before I take 2 steps, my friend points out to me that that's the salad. I set the box back down and go to grab the other box, but the lunch lady shouts at me, "Hey, don't you dare!" I look at her and she looks at me like I just slapped a puppy in the face. I ask what's wrong, and she said that I already grabbed the salad, so I have to take the salad. Note, I didn't even open the box. I explain to her that I'm a diabetic and already took insulin. She shakes her head and says in a sickly sweet tone, "I'm sorry, that's not my problem. Take the salad and go sit down now." I tried once more to tell her the situation, but she just pointed at the salad table and tells me to take the salad or I don't get anything. I'm a little annoyed at this point, so I take the salad and go off to my table with my friends and tell them the situation. They removed the vending machines in the cafeteria over the summer, so there was no way for me to get the correct amount of carbs without stealing another kid's cheeseburger. One of my friends tells me I should go and get the principal quickly, before the insulin fully sets in. I go to the office and tell him and the counselor the situation, a little panicked, because it had been well over 10 minutes since I took insulin. I'm very tight with the principal, so he walked me back up to the cafeteria and talked to the lunch lady. He tells her, "Lunch lady, give him the cheeseburger, he really needs it." She responds to him though by saying, "But he already took a salad, he can deal with it." The principal just sighs, grabs the cheeseburger box and shoved it into my hands and tells me to go sit down. I listen to him and walk back to the table. I sit relatively close to the lunch line, so me and my friends can just about hear the principal talking to her. How you acted was truly out of line. I thought you understood to treat his and other diabetic kids' situations with care and to understand. He went on for another minute and ended up just telling her off and heading back to his office, and I ate in peace. I'm glad that she got told off, and maybe she'll know better next time. Wow, that is actually incredible. This woman knows that you have diabetes, and therefore, obviously, as you say, you have to take insulin before you eat to deal with the food. So obviously you've taken the right amount of insulin, knowing what you're going to eat. Why would she not understand that and know that you have to have a cheeseburger? Because as you say, you need to have that amount of food that you've prepared for. It makes no sense to me. Like, it could be so dangerous if you don't have the right amount of insulin before you eat. I mean, look, I'm not the best to talk about this, to be honest. I mean, my editor Steve-O actually does have diabetes, and a lot of people that I know as well do. So maybe it's better to ask them over me. But I mean, overall, to be honest, I was actually talking to the person who wrote this story, OP. Thank you for allowing me to read the story out. And he was saying that it'd be great to just raise awareness in general for people with diabetes and how they live day to day. So yeah, I was more than happy to read the story out, and it definitely has raised awareness for me about how infuriating it could possibly be if you can't get the right amount of food in terms of the insulin that you prepared for. I mean, wow, if this was me in this situation and the principal didn't listen to me, Jesus, you'd be in big trouble. So it's lucky that the principal listened to you. But that lunch lady, she needs to be fired or something bad's going to happen. Now moving on to our next post. Your grandmother made the wraps, so I deserve them. My mother's mother died a good 15 years ago. She was so sweet and loved to knit and crochet. She taught me the basics of knitting, but nothing more. When my mother was pregnant with me, and later my brother, she had made 3 wraps, a white, pink, and a blue one. My mother used them for me and my brother and kept them. When my brother's girlfriend was pregnant with their first, they weren't interested. My mum then showed them to me and asked if I wanted them. I loved them and said I did. Around 4 years ago, a cousin of mine got pregnant. She is the daughter of my father's sister, so no blood relation to my mother's mother. This was around the same time my brother and sister-in-law were expecting their first child. My cousin wanted handmade wraps and blankets. My aunt, her mother, remembered that my mother's mother did knit and crochet when she was alive, and she remembered that my mother had some wraps. So they called my mum and told her the good news. My mother congratulated them and asked the usual questions. Then my aunt and cousin asked if my mother still had those wraps. My mother confirmed this. Then the gates of hell opened. My cousin then said that she would love to have them, but my mother replied that she was keeping them for my future children. They both scoff and indicate that such a thing might not happen for some years, but my mother doesn't change her mind. Then my aunt says that she should give them because they are family, and this is a family heirloom. My mother was fuming, as during her marriage to my dad, still going strong, they never seemed to respect her. They never rude to her face, but there were loads of double standards in which my mum always had to do something but not get the same thing back. She told them that the wraps were indeed family heirlooms. Her family, to be exact, and then hung up. The other aunts called her and started to say and demand that she gave up the wraps, but my mother didn't budge. She was willing to give a gift, but she was not willing to give these, as she knew how much those wraps meant to me. Then my father was called. My father is a very calm man who doesn't take sides if he is not involved. But he tore every aunt that called a new one about this. As the only living son and very respected member, they listened. So they stopped, and I got to use the blue and white wrap for my son. I'm pregnant again, almost 30 weeks. All the family knows. My cousin contacted me through the book face and said that she was pregnant too. Guess where this is going? So I congratulate her and ask the usual questions. She only answers that she is 20 weeks and then says that she needs and wants the wraps, saying my child will be 10 weeks old by that time and won't need them anymore. My due date is the end of March. Hers is in May. Taking this into account, I say that she won't need them either. The wraps are warm, and since her due date is in May, it might be too warm already for the wraps. She calls me selfish, and that she has a right. I remind her to the fact that she didn't even know my mother's mother, and simply because she wants something doesn't mean she gets it. She hurls some other abuse my way before I block her. Her mother is the next to contact me and berates me, telling me that it's her daughter's turn and that I was being selfish. Since I had already guessed that my aunt would contact, I had decided to go through their social media. My cousin was showing off a wonderful set of figurines, nothing too expensive but still beautiful, on one picture with the caption of, "So proud to have my Gmar set." I know this set is from her father's side of the family. So I told my aunt that I wanted that set in exchange. Cue the remarks that I'm a selfish female dog, plus more colourful words about my audacity to claim that, and that it wasn't even from our side of the family. Cue my evil grin and response. Then how in heck do you have the nerve to demand and claim something that isn't from our side of the family? If you and my cousin can demand this from someone who you didn't know, and vice versa, who isn't family, then don't be surprised that people take the same path as you do. Since there has been blissful silence from those two, my parents had to laugh when I showed them the exchange. I had some aunts call me to ask what happened, and if it was really such a problem, to just give the raps. I sent screenshots of the conversations, and then they seemed to agree with me. Yeah, I mean, I guess you can't have it both ways, right? I mean, if you are happy to, have something from someone else's family, then when they ask you for something that's in your family, not theirs, you say no. Doesn't really work, does it? It's not exactly fair, if I'm honest with you. Yeah, I mean, like, if your mother's mother and your mother have said to you that no, they are now your choice to do what you want with them, these raps, then they are your choice. Don't try and steal them. And yeah, I love that you just brought them up on that. You were like, okay, you can have the raps, but only if I get something from your family. When they were like, no, you were like, see the bigger picture here? Yeah. I mean, also, they're just like baby wraps, right? That you don't even use for that long. Are they that important? I mean, I've never actually had a baby myself, so I don't know. Should he just go and buy some, like, cheap ones instead? They're not the most important thing, are they? Why do you need to have this person's mother's wraps exactly? Are they that nice? I mean, maybe they are, but still, they're just like a wrap. Surely it's not a big deal to just go and get another one? I don't know. Any wrap experts in the comments? I know there are a few of you. Let me know what I'm missing out on here, because I would love to know more about wrapping in general. Yeah, great stuff. Anyway, guys, that is going to do it for this episode of Entitled Parents. If you would like more from me right away, if you love the video that much, you just want more immediately, then boom. The playlist is right there for you to enjoy. If you are new to my channel, as I said, please make sure you are subscribed by clicking this button. Click it, and my hand will go, nice, we did well. And finally, yeah, I will see you all tomorrow with a brand new video. Same time, same place. Probably not the same time, but definitely the same place. Nice one.